Hello, friends. Let's put some light on speaking. Now, when I talk about speaking, it's not only public speaking that I'm talking about, but it's about all the types of speaking that we do in our home, with our friends, with our family members, with our colleagues in the office. It matters a lot. So this all are types of public speaking if you see it clearly. Now, what do you mean by public speaking? Public speaking is not only about perfection, but it's all about connection too. When you talk to some person, it is always important to see that how you are getting connected to that person and how the listeners are getting connected to you. So you should have a proper always have a proper connection with your listeners. That is very much important when you do public speaking. Yes, perfection is necessary, but with perfection, how you connect with your listeners is also an important part of public speaking, or you can say about speaking. Next, I would like to tell you that your speaking is a gift for the listeners. Now, whenever we have a communication, there are three persons involved in our communication. We all know that. That is, the first person is known as the speaker, the second person is known as the listener, and the third person is known as the spoken. So, the one who is speaking is a gift for the listeners. So, you should always be excited. Excited means what? Whenever you start your communication, start with a good energy, and the audience will be excited and they will get connected to you automatically. So if you want to catch the attention of the audience, those are sitting just in front of you, see that you have excitement in your speech. Now, when I talk about speaking, I would say that 10% of your speaking is about the content that you share. It means that you have to focus on 10% about the methodologies that you are going to speak, or about the things that you are going to share with your listeners. And 40% of your speaking is about your voice. Now, if you are speaking in front of 50 people and if you are speaking in front of 10,000 people, if your voice is the same, you will not be able to catch the attention of the people. So it's very important to have a proper voice modulation with you when you're speaking in front of public. Now 55% of your speaking is all about your unconscious body language. Now unconscious body language over here, it means that the body language that you cannot see or you cannot recognize, but your listeners who are watching you will recognize your body language. So whenever I tell to my students, I always tell them, carry a proper body language which is going to go in correlation with your speech. If you are saying a positive sentence and your body language is into a negative framework, then the listeners or the viewers are not going to understand the concept or the message that you are trying to pass them. Hence, do not just focus on your content, knowledge and information that you share, but also focus on your body language and your voice that you are using to give a speech or share your concepts with the listeners. As I told you in my previous video, the speaking is totally depend on your thinking, the thinking process that you do. So now change the soundtrack in your brains. Now when I say change the soundtrack in your brains, it means that if you want to speak in English, you have to think in English and not in Hindi or Marathi. Now how we can do that? When we start our day early in the morning confidence is one pointer which you can gain from your early morning walks, which will make you feel fresh, where your brain is going to start working into a positive manner. You will have good vibes and you can develop your morning confidence. Now, fluency in sharpening your speech. I always tell my students and I tell every one of you, if you want to sharpen your fluency of speaking, please try tongue twisters, saying those tongue twisters repeatedly, and it is going to help you to sharpen your fluency. Now coming to the thought process, which is related to the brain and the mouth. Thought process is your thinking process. If you start thinking in English language, you will be speaking into English language. If you are thinking in Hindi or Marathi language, your speaking is going to be in Marathi or Hindi language. The next point is related to the vocal warm-ups, which you can do earlier in the morning. Vocal warm-ups is nothing but it is related to your voice. You should know what intensity of voice you should speak with. It should not be too loud, it should not be too low, it should be audible to the audience with whom you're speaking. Feedbacks and correction is one important thing. If you say something, if you speak something and there is no correction, there is no one who can correct you, even if you are doing incorrect things, then it is going to be waste of time and energy because you are going to learn the incorrect things. So feedbacks are always welcome, should always be welcome from the listeners or the viewers.